Hi everyone, I'm making a video today because, quite frankly, I'm a little bit concerned about what the idea of freedom of speech in this country is coming to. It seems to me that a lot of people say really terrible things and then justify it with freedom of speech. Now, don't get me wrong. Freedom of speech is a really wonderful thing, and I'm very blessed to live in a country where freedom of speech is available and is given to its citizens. It's really great, and there are a lot of countries out there that aren't fortunate enough to have that. But it seems as though, for me in particular, when it comes to racial slurs, because I have gotten racial slurs in the past, and I actually got a boatload today, which kind of sparked this video. It seems racial slurs are all justified in the aftermath with freedom of speech. Now, this is very true. You can use racial slurs when you talk to people because of freedom of speech. That's kind of a given right. But what you choose to say with your given right of freedom of speech can really speak volumes about you as a person. And when people use racial slurs and then justify it with freedom of speech, it's kind of like taking advantage of this freedom, to me anyways. And it's almost a little bit insulting to our forefathers who came up with this idea. Then it almost seems like people who use racial slurs get all like, oh, we have to fight the power, fight censorship. Like, if you really want to fight censorship and be a rebel, go protest book burnings. Go protest forms of censorship in schools when it comes to literature or movies like Schindler's List, movies or books that have meaning to them. Why waste your time on an overused insult that has no purpose but to demean somebody? Why ruin somebody's day when you can make somebody's day better by allowing their school to have, a book like The Catcher in the Rye? That was a very controversial book, but thanks to people fighting censorship, that book is available to kids in schools nowadays. Why waste your time trying to justify racial slurs when there's bigger problems out there? And quite frankly, people who use racial slurs and then justify it with freedom of speech and get all hyped up like fight the power, you're not rebels, you're not cool, and most of society looks down upon you, because we're also very blessed to live in a society today where most of the population is no longer prejudiced. It wasn't always that way, but we've come so far from where we've been, and I know that if I were out in my town, and I was in school when this happened, and I know if I were out on the sidewalk and somebody screamed like towelhead, camel jockey at me, that there would be somebody there to defend me. People would not just like stand back and let that happen. I hope they wouldn't, but from what I've seen in the past with where I live, people have never tolerated that kind of language, and it shouldn't be tolerated, quite frankly. So really, if you're wasting your time trying to fight the power so that you can use a racial slur, you're not a rebel. And to put it in the politest terms that I can find within myself, you are a troll.